out in the backyard. I saw a male, and he was really hyper and freaking out. I felt like he was not directly attached to this property, but that he had been here at some point. He was kind of out of his mind. He kept mumbling over and over and over again that he didn't do it, he didn't do it. And then I saw a woman laying at his feet. She was dead. I felt like he did kill this woman.
Now, the guy you saw, how old do you think he was?
I would have thought he was in his 20s.
Some of the things you're saying reminded me of a case I came across in my research. Back in the early 1900s, there was a guy named McClellan Moshe, had a farm right next door to this property. Moshe lived there with his wife and his 15-year-old daughter, Blanche. Now, at the time, Moshe employed a 32-year-old farmhand by the name of Earl Austin. April of 1918, Moshe and Austin had a fight while working on the farm. Austin backed down and left. He wound up coming back later that night. Now, you said the guy you saw snuck out here? Well, Austin snuck into Moshe's house while he was sleeping. He took an axe and he bludgeoned him to death. But that wasn't the end of it. Austin waited in the house for the 15-year-old daughter, Blanche, and her cousin Wilma to come home. Actually got a photo of both girls. So this is the daughter, Blanche, and then this is her cousin Wilma. Once the girls were in bed, this sick bastard snuck into their rooms. He took the axe and killed Blanche. He went to kill Wilma next, but she lied to him and somehow convinced him to elope and go to a train station that night. Now, at the train station, Wilma rats out Earl to a conductor, and he took off. Cops called up to him about a couple hours later. Austin never claimed he killed these two people by accident, but he did plead insanity. So Austin got transferred to a mental hospital and stayed there till he died in 1949. I met with the local sheriff, and he told me this was the most brutal homicide in this county's history. Matter of fact, he actually gave me a photo of the perpetrator. This is Earl Austin here. Did you get a good look at him?
Yeah.
Is this our guy?
I had a sketch done.
It's a pretty damn close description of this guy.
Wow.
Lips and the chin.
Jamie, do you think this is possible who you saw?
Yes.
Okay, so what else did you see?
Upstairs, I met a couple. From how they were both dressed, I would place them in the 20s or 30s. There was something Bonnie and Clyde-ish about them. They were extremely rebellious when they were alive, and they are the same now in death. I think that different ways you would experience them would be that they are constantly partying. So they make a lot of noise. You would hear them talking, laughing. They're constantly drinking and smoking. I think that you would actually might smell some of the smoke. There's the first bedroom over the kitchen, I think. They love it in there. They kind of go nuts in there, so they're bumping into walls and the doors. They're flopping on the bed together. The living would experience that kind of activity and energy as anxiety. And I honestly don't know how anybody can get any sleep up there. The couple can also make people sick. The other thing I got, and this bothered me, the male indicated that he can become physical and that he may have punched some people.
You hit on a lot of experiences our clients are dealing with here. Let's take them one at a time. Lisa, you've heard voices and conversations.
The damn laughing. Kids' friends don't stay the night anymore because they get kept up all night from the damn laughing.
You guys both smoke cigarettes, but no one in the house smokes, right?
Yeah, Lisa and I both have. We brought it to each other's attention.
Something Amy talked about, you and I discussed upstairs, the bed being shoved.
It's like somebody's bumping into the bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, a little knock. It's really a jolt.
Your daughter Courtney and you have been grabbed. By the foot or the ankle?
Yeah, you can feel like somebody puts their hands on you and it's a good shake.
Could you tell if it was male or female?
It's either a weak man or a strong woman.
It's interesting.
Amy, you also said they can make people sick. Lisa, do me a favor and tell Amy what you've been going through.
Yeah, my heart will just race, my chest will get tight. I went through, months of passing out. And it's not uncommon to wake up with migraines.
So this is being caused by this gangster couple.
I think the majority of it is. The migraines might be something else.
Now, why are they doing this?
They have felt like the living have tried to attack them. And I was trying to talk to them about how the living were doing this to them, and they told me that they were banished to the darkness.
Lisa, tell about who you brought in and what they did.
I had a coven pagan high priestess come to do a circle ritual for cleansing, and there was some good stern get out.
Can we assume that when she did that, it made things worse?
Yeah. When I spoke to the dead couple, they said it's been extremely emotionally, distressing for them.
And we've seen it before where people say they've had teams come in, and next thing you know, everything gets worse.
You have several dead people here, but one woman really stands out. This is the person that I'm the most concerned about here. I got that she would have been here in the 1800s. I felt that she lived here, either in this house or on this property. I thought that she might have been rich or came from a wealthy family. I believe she was a widow and that she suffered a lot of loss because the initial thing she showed me were 4 graves. And she kept saying that she buried 4. Initially, I felt bad because she told me I am damned to walk their graves for eternity. And then I got the impression that she possibly made her family sick. I think she might have poisoned them.
What you're saying made me think of someone who actually lived here. Back in 1889, a woman named Mary Beeman moved onto this property after she married her husband, George. George and Mary built this house in the early 1890s. Nobody knows why, but George, her husband, committed suicide in 1899 by walking in front of a freight train right down the block from here. You said you thought she was wealthy? Mary, George's widow, inherited the property as well as George's assets. Mary immediately moved her family in, her mother and father and her brother and her uncle. Well, as soon as these people moved in with Mary, they started dropping dead.
No
Way.
You saw 4 graves. All 4 of her family members died in this house. I got a stack of obits and death certificates here. Now, none of the death records report any poisoning, but back in those days, unless you had an indication for it, why would you check for it? Mary stayed at the house by herself here for 14 more years. She also died in the house in 1923. After Mary passed away, the house went to her brother. Now, her brother and his family moved into the house. Shortly after that, 4 more of them died in the house. I got their death certificates right here.
Did.
Now you got a total of 9 deaths in the house and her husband who killed himself, which is 10. Is it possible Mary is the widow you saw?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're convinced that she killed everybody in this house when she was alive?
Yes.
All right, now what about the other people?
She's killed everybody.
So she killed those other 4 while she was dead?
Yes. She's a serial killer.